Is that air conditioner too loud?
No, I can't hear it. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. This is 210 Outdoors. Got a special
And
guest tonight. Yeah, he got me one too. I got mine in my cup.
hey, everybody, how y'all doing? It may take them a few minutes to get in here if it works like YouTube.
Awesome. How you doing tonight, guys?
Hey, Woodsman, what's up, man? Finally, somebody responded to us.
Yeah, they can't hear us until we go actual live.
He said he's doing good. That's good. You been working on a new video already? I won't spoil it though. I'm gonna be working on one this weekend. I don't think I'm camping this weekend. I think I'm just gonna build a project, which my project videos never do very good, but it's fun doing them anyway.
Yeah, it's always good. Well, I don't know if we want to get started here or wait a little bit, get a few more people in here. Says we only have two, but Herbert and Woodsman's only two in here. I guess we can wait a little bit.
There's a 3 to 8 second delay before we see and hear you. Alrighty. Yeah, because we told everybody 7, which means most people won't get in here till 7:05. If it's anything like work, they won't get in here till 7:15. That's supposed to be a joke. Nobody laughs at my jokes. That's my feeling.
There's a 3 to 8 second delay before they actually hear us. So
Herbert T. Outdoors. Herbert, where are you from again? I cannot. Do y'all remember where he's from?
Illinois,
Oh, that's right.
he moved from Arkansas to Illinois.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah,
Oh, you remember? I don't remember faces and stories. I remember that subject, but I can't remember which person it is exactly by face.
yeah. I guess everybody knows by the title and description kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. Um, and anybody can chime in anything that want to add to it. I'm sure with our community, everybody's got something they want to add, which is good. Everybody, I enjoy watching everybody's channels. Peter's got his latest video. I went and watched it today. It's pretty good. I felt sorry for him every time. It seems like he goes to Lake District to do a video. He has some kind of catastrophe that makes him have to go home early. He
Oh
forgot.
man.
Yeah, he forgot his water filter, and they were at the lake, so he decided to drink water anyways, and he ended up getting sick from it and had to leave
Yeah.
early. I felt so bad for him.
Who is that?
Above and below,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Peter's from the UK. Yeah, I watched his latest video today, and man, he's he's got some good footage though.
Yeah. Anything those countries. Canada, same thing.
Yeah.
Man, beautiful over there.
Oh, it is beautiful. I love it. I would love to go to Canada and Alaska both. I'd really
Yeah,
like to do that.
me too.
Okay. Do you see Woodsman's comment?
I'm on the phone with my brother, so won't be chatting much for a minute. All right. Okay. So it's just now 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're going to talk about solo camping, obviously, food, gear, and essential tips. Um, I'm not gonna wait too terribly long, but I was hoping more would be in here tonight. But we can't control how many people's gonna be in here.
Yeah.
But I know for me, when I first started doing solo camping, obviously you gotta test out your gear and know what you're capable of. And I always get on Google Earth and maps and look at the terrain and see if it's going to be too hard of a hike for the gear that you've got. I mean, we've been talking about Luke on Total Outdoor Gear Review. That's what Herbert was talking about. And there's so many hikers and backpackers and campers going out unprepared and losing their life or having to get rescued. It's just crazy.
Yeah. When I go out, the only thing that I almost always remember to do, and I think it's extremely important to me year round, really, and that is to put a tarp down under your tent if you've got a floor, if you got a tent with a floor in it. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it helps for many reasons, but even in the summertime, you know, it helps, especially if it rains or something. Because the worst thing in the world to me is trying to dry out a big old tent with a floor in it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that is part of the essential gears is the tarpon footprint. I mean, it's really a no brainer. Really, I mean, especially if you want to protect the floor. The gear is so expensive nowadays. Plus, usually when I have that tarp or footprint underneath, you can put a mat or something where you can put your boots on and stuff.
Yep, that's one thing that I forget most of the time.
Yeah, it's hard, and two, if you don't have a big enough backpack, you can't fit everything you want to, and then you got to get a second bag to put your food and extra
Yep.
gear in, and it's
Hey, Lefty, what's up, man? How you doing?
evening, Lefty. How you doing? How's everything on Bull Shoals? I know when you getting ready to go out camping alone, obviously you need to be self sufficient and know what your shelter you're going to bring in your sleep system. I mean, there's so many things that people don't take in consideration, the weight of everything. And like me, I have to have a bigger bag for winter, and my summer loadout is smaller and lighter. So, um, people don't realize sometimes. And if you're going truck camping, car camping, that's a different story. You can have everything you want with you, but if you're backpacking in, and um, you got to consider everything differently.
You know, Minnesota Mike's in the house.
How you doing, Mike?
He says you guys are live an awful lot. Trying to rack up them hours, dude. We found out live hours work.
Trying one on our own too. So
Yeah. And then Lefty says it was beautiful on the lake.
yeah, I bet it was. There's a lot of upcoming camps I want to do on kayak camping and fishing and everything. I'd like to get a couple of those done down there on Bull Shoals. I know of a couple, so
We're talking about the stuff for camping. Another problem, let's see, hang on. Minnesota Mike says this is cool, you guys. Double deal. It's our first time to try it. It feels kind of strange, but
I'm
pretty
just the
cool.
I'm just the strange part.
Like I can't really even see. I can see comments, but I can't really see me or him. It's weird. We haven't worked out a bunch of bugs, but uh,
Herbert asked what kind of kayak. I just have a well, what is it? It's a I can't even remember what brand of kayak I have. It's not very expensive. It's not a fishing kayak. My wife does. She has a sit on top Lifetime, I think, and mine is Oh, I can't remember what brand mine is.
Mike says my audio is off just a little bit. He's the OCD fix it guy, but he can't fix it from here, from where he's at. So my kayak is a Sun Dolphin from Walmart, but it's a fishing kayak. I got two of them. They work real good and they're pretty comfortable. The only thing I don't like about them, I mean, I've got a lot of storage, but I don't like, they're the kind that lets water seep in so that the kayak can balance itself, but some comes up through the seat too. So your butt always gets soaked no matter what.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. But they were, for the money, I think I got the best I could get for the money.
Yeah, I was thinking if I end up selling my boat, I might get a nice fishing kayak, a better one, but I'm not into spending a lot of money on one for sure. I think I only gave 150 or 200 bucks for mine used. And then we bought my wife's for like 300.
Herbert says I have a 12 and a half foot, or yeah, pedal
Pedal.
kayak.
Yeah.
Ooh, but that'd be
That'd be
nice. That or the ones with the little trolling motors, but those things are $5, man.
Hey, Lefty, that'd be all right. We'll pull you along behind us.
I'm behind. I mean, can you get in there? Oh, hey, wait a minute. I know what we could do. Hang on a minute. Herbert could borrow my other kayak, and you could borrow his,
There you go.
and just pedal it around. You're just going.
All right. So where were we at here? What about the sleeping bag? You know, people don't even consider your sleeping bag when you're going out camping. Um, People aren't prepared. Even, you know, the comfort rating, people go, well, it's good to 0. Well, you'll survive at 0, but comfort rating is like 20.
Yeah, my sleeping bag. That's the biggest, probably the biggest problem I got is I got one sleeping bag. It's 0 degree. So if it's not like, oh, my laundry's done. If it's not like super cold outside, or at least really chilly, then I'm overheating. But it's the only one I got, you know. And to me, I would like to have one that's even warmer than that for the super cold nights, and then a different one for like fall and summer. But everything costs money, so you just gotta make do sometimes.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's what I hear people talking a lot lately is, oh, I don't have the money or the, you know, gear to go out. You don't need expensive gear. I mean, if it's cold, you know, you can layers and wool blankets and regular blankets. I mean, just to go camping, you don't need expensive sleeping bags and tents and stuff.
Yeah. Let's see, Randy, you could get the patrol bag that snaps into the intermediate bag that you have now, and that will take you down to pretty cold temperatures below 0.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I don't even, I don't know anything about all that stuff. Patrol bag. That's just a bag that goes inside of the sleeping bag.
Yeah, it's 2 bags virtually.
Hmm.
Then you can get the bivy on top of it, and that'll add a few degrees too. Yeah, the sleeping pad too. I mean, you got to consider the sleeping pad along with it and what you're putting under the sleeping bag. I mean, if you're going to be on a cot or if you're going to be on the ground, if you're solo camping out in the, you know, way out in the woods, I mean, you're not going to have a cot. You're going to have a nice warm pad to bring along.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Golly, man. Let's see. trying to keep up with these comments. What you have is part of a military sleep system.
Yep.
I remember us talking about that when we met for that one camp. I'm still trying to get used to it. I'm not that one I had before, the climate sleeping bag. I love that thing, man. It was so perfect. It just was too small. This one I've got now, it's I don't know. It's kind of inconvenient. Like the two zipper things that supposed to be convenient, but I always end up grabbing the wrong one. I try to zip my sleeping bag up, and it unzips at the bottom, stuff like that.
Nomadic camping within this weekend says I've always taken a wool blanket to throw over my bag. I actually do too, over or inside with me. You know, you can always put your coat down in and make a little foot box inside your sleeping bag. I've done that before too. My
See you
hammock,
later, Lefty.
do what?
I was telling Lefty, see you later. He said he's leaving.
Bye, Lefty. Have a good night. Yeah, mummy bags, this aren't for everybody. You're really constricted. You know, if you're claustrophobic, a mummy bag definitely isn't for you.
Mine ain't quite a mummy bag, but it's similar.
Yeah.
No matter. I'll never own another mummy bag.
Yeah, I've blown out a few zippers in time or two when I've had to get out of my sleeping bag real quick to pee or something. I've blown out a zipper trying to get
Mm-hmm.
out before.
Yep.
Your zipper gets stuck, and I'm like, man, I'm getting out here one way or another.
Yep. Herbert says mine is a glap sleep system compared to yours.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
mine's pretty basic.
Yeah, yeah. The tossing and turning is another key too. I've got mine's big enough I can turn in mine, luckily, but I just turn the whole bag. It's not that big deal. And usually I'll get out of the hammock in my bag and get in my bag before I get in my hammock, because everybody's like, well, how do you get in your mummy bag before you get in your hammock or after you get in your hammock? Well, I can do it, but it's harder. But I usually stand up in it, zip it up, and then sit down in my hammock. It works a lot better that way.
Yep. I toss and turn a lot, and that's why I had to get rid of the climate sleeping bag because it fit me good. I felt like kind of like you said, the claustrophobic thing. When I'd go to try to turn around, I just couldn't do it. And so the one I have now is perfect as far as turning around and stuff. I just don't like I'm not crazy about the zippers,
Yeah.
and it don't keep me quite as warm as what I would like it to keep me.
Has anyone referred to your hammock as a bear burrito? Yes, many times. But if you think about it, with your tarp around you, I've got more protection than a tent. I mean, a tent, the bear's going to go through the tent just as easy as my hammock. So, but good Lord protects me out there, so I ain't too worried. If I go getting ate by a bear, that's how I'm going to go.
Make a great video.
Yeah, it would. Talking about getting in and out of your hammock and the sleeping bag. I thought about that.
That would be good.
You know, and that goes along with, since we're on essential tips of solo camping. um, that's tent camping versus hammock camping. There's a lot of both out there. So um, your sleep system, your underquilt, your top quilt, if you use closed cell pads in your hammock or your tent, pretty much you can use a sleeping pad in your tent or your hammock. I mean, it's all virtually the same. One's on in a hammock, one's in a tent. I mean, and you don't need half of what you do in the wintertime. So a lot of people, a lot of people car camp, and a lot of people go disperse camping and hiking out like I do, and which I do both.
Mike says I'd pay money to see you stumbling around in a mummy bag. Nomadic says yes, do it. I have never seen anyone do that. But I think he's talking about what you said about
Getting in
making
my
a
hammock.
video. Yeah, making a video showing how to.
I should have done it before now. I don't know. I'm so lazy when it comes. I need to get the different uh, positions and like you do and reposition my camera and stuff. And if you're getting in a mummy bag trying to get in your hammock, it's kind of hard to position your camera around. I guess I need to put it up in porch mode and make it a little easier. And I might have to do that next time I go hammock camping.
Hey, Minnesota Mike, I gave out a lot of stickers at this thing. I think I gained, I know I gained at least 10 subscribers, but I think it was closer to 20. So that was cool. Oh, I was going to say something else. My foot started
Yeah,
itching.
ew, athlete's foot. Yeah, I'd have to get back out to get the camera too. That's another thing. Make a good gear for camping is a Bluetooth shutter, so you can remotely control your camera. But you still got to get up and get your camera. So I guess that's only good for turning it on and off.
I mean, you could rig something up on one of my videos. You can see where I have a tripod and I put my umbrella taped to it with the phone underneath it. If it ain't real cold outside or something, you could leave a camera out there. I see people do it all the time to do a time lapse and stuff.
Yeah, you can figure it to be out there. Leave it out there, like you said. That's knocking out
Yeah.
two birds with one stone.
I thought Randy was going to slip and fall in the water on that fishing show the other day.
I did too. I definitely thought you were going to.
Where I was out fishing with that guy,
Yeah.
man, that was cold. That was really cold. Sounds like
All
a
right.
challenge. The mummy bag shuffle.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. All right. Here's some more essential gear you need for your solo camping: clothing and protection, and the moisture wicking base layers, of course. That's mostly for winter, I would say. Um, Insulated jacket, rain gear, hat and gloves, hiking boots, extra socks and underwear. I usually take at least a change of clothes and underwear and socks with me when I go out.
One of the things that I don't ever do, and I know I should, I just don't ever do it. I never take rain gear with me. I always
Yeah,
try to try to have a tarp, and it's like if it looks like it's gonna rain, I'll just get up under the tarp or something. Um, but another thing I'd never take with me that I mean I learned in Scout that's the number one thing you need, and that's a first aid kit.
yep.
But I never carry one.
Yeah, I've got my first aid kit, and I've got a small, real lightweight rain gear, and also I have my backpack rain cover. You could use in a pinch too. But yeah, I try to, even if you have a disposable poncho, it's better than nothing.
Yeah. Pneumatic says my GoPro always freezes on cold nights when I try time lapse. Uh,
Yep.
and he talked about body warmers and fire extinguisher.
Well, car camping, you definitely want a fire extinguisher. But if I'm hiking in, I mean, obviously, you can get some pretty small fire extinguishers, but um, I guess I might want to consider that when I get my hot tent for my hammock. I am eventually going to I decided I probably will get a hot tent for my hammock, but I'll get a pellet stove, not a wood stove. So, but that would be good to have a miniature fire extinguisher that you could put in your backpack.
Don't forget bear spray. I
Yeah.
always carry bear spray, always year round.
Yeah. Well, it works on people too.
Yep, that's the main reason I carry it.
Yeah.
Gotta go, fellas. We'll see you later, Nomadic. Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. Hit that like button before you leave if you haven't. I appreciate it.
See, I can't even see that, so I forget to remind people to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you can. I'm sure you can. That's the only bad thing is you can't see all the YouTube stuff in here. I mean, I can see how long we've been live and how many people's watching, but I can't see
Hmm.
the likes and all that.
I can't see any of that stuff.
Yeah, you can't in here. That's a drawback of using StreamYard I've seen so far. But other than that, I really like it.
Yeah,
And I
I'd
guess
like it. Go ahead.
what I was just going to say, adding to our list, hat and gloves, depending on the climate, which even when it's warm climate, I take gloves with me. I mean, gloves are important all year round. Depends on how thick of gloves and your hiking boots, of course, and went over the extra socks and underwear. So
I'll be right back.
don't leave me.
I'm back.
Hey, Den.
So
Yeah, that one Tiger's Hot 10 is nice. I was thinking about getting the one wind that goes with my hammock. But yeah, that one Tigers one is a really good one.
I was going to show this hiking boot. This is my new ones that I use, and they are Solomon. Is the brand name. I got them off the internet. These are kind of muddy because I used them this past weekend. But what's funny is I bought these things because I looked online. I don't know if you can see these hooks here that go way down here. It's like it goes all the way down to your ankle and tightens up. And man, you talk about supporting that ankle. It's amazing. So my friend and Nick in Canada, after I got these, he says, "Oh, those are like mine." And I was like, "Oh," I said, "kind of the same." Anyway, it turns out they're exactly the same ones he's got. And then when we were out on this camp out this past weekend, I saw a couple people wearing the same brand, Solomon. I had looked them up before I bought them, wanting to know what's the best boot for hikers and backpackers. And that one came up probably more than any others. But anyway, I was just going to show them to you in case anybody's looking for good food.
Yeah.
Totally waterproof. I've walked through so much water in those things.
Well, we're in part of the essential gear, so that went right in because I just mentioned hiking boots. So yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah. Well, that's why I went and grabbed them.
Yeah, I guess a couple more on the list is cooking and food supplies. Um, you gotta. I mean, you can always cook on fire, but I mean, if the weather's not, or if there's a fire ban, I mean, you gotta decide what you're going to bring to cook on. I always bring a minimum of two forms of cooking methods usually with me. So if I can't do one, I can usually do the other.
Yeah. Portable stove. What's everybody else's choice about a portable stove like? I mean, I use I got the square Ozark little turn the knob thing. That's my favorite, but it's not great for hiking. Then I got the little can thing with the little platform that screws on top. And then I got a stick stove that was given to me by Minnesota Mike. And it's hard to say what my favorite is, but
Nothing like trying to cook an egg on two sticks. Or just throw it in the fire, poke a hole in the top and throw it in the fire. I've done that before. It works pretty well.
hey, Dan. Ben says I sprayed my $15 Walmart shoes with Clear Flex Steel today because I was bored.
That'll work. Then you could virtually have weatherproof finish shoes.
Herbert says nothing like trying to cook an egg on two sticks.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, I like my BRS. It's like a jet boil, but different brand. It works really well. That's why I like taking a lot of dehydrated meals. I'm gonna start making some more of my own.
Yeah. Now I don't use this is a new thing with me. This started probably started at the end of last year, or it might have been this year. I don't know, but I try not to use anything aluminum if I can help it, and I try to absolutely not use Teflon or plastic cooking spatulas. I know a lot of people do, and I'm not putting them down. It's just the stuff that I started researching on it about all the chemicals that end up getting in your system and into your food, and so I went. Almost everything I have is either stainless steel or uh, something else. What is the cold skillet made out of? 210.
Carbon steel.
Okay, so I have that. I have my cast iron, and I have my stainless steel. Hey, campfires and dirty
Hey, Cam.
tires, how's it going?
Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Please give a thumbs up if you hadn't. Would appreciate it.
Yeah, just been going over solo camping, essential gears and tips and type stuff. Um, we're kind of still in the essential gears, kind of in for the cooking systems. Talking about, I guess we can move on into the lightweight cookware, your pots, pans, and sporks. I've got the titanium set, and then they have the what brand is that? That's the nice plastic set. I know you don't like plastic, but the people that don't like the titanium metal, or you can always get stainless steel. But yeah, Herbert, we'll be getting into the fire starting devices. We got a long list of. That's the next actual thing we're getting into. We got
I'll jump way
knife
ahead.
or multi tools, water filtration, navigation. We've got a lot highlighted tips to go through. You see where we're at in the Randy?
Yeah, I do. I jumped way ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, after your cookware or cook sets, I mean that's going to be dependent on where you're going, whether you're truck camping or whether you're car camping or backpacking. I mean, you just got to bring what's going to make sense for what trip you're on.
Yeah. The other one is the multi-tool. Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real important to decide. If you got a good multi-tool with sharp knife and saw, I mean, you can virtually do anything, but I still like having a good size knife I can baton with if I need to or whatever I need.
Yeah. Minnesota Mike, I don't know why, but boy, he gave me a lot of stuff since I've met him. And one of the things was a Leatherman. I had an Ozark multi-tool. He
Mm-hmm.
gave me a Leatherman. I cannot believe the difference. I didn't think there'd be that much of a difference, but those Leathermans are nice.
Yeah, they
And
are.
they always come in handy. Sometimes I forget I have it. Like the other day when I went on that boat trip with that guy, I had forgotten to put the motor into the boat, and so I got the motor, I got the battery. Finally, put not the motor, the battery. I forgot to put the battery in, and then I forgot to hook it up though. So I got in the boat. I'm like, we're ready to go, but I had to get back out, hook up the battery. But anyway, you got to take these nuts off, and I didn't have. I'm like, well, how are we going to take this off? And I remembered my multi-tool, Leatherman, got those pliers on them. So I use those things all the time.
Yeah, I use mine a lot as well.
It's got everything: saw, bottle opener, knives, everything. You could probably even get a bed out of there if you search hard enough.
Yeah. Ozarks with Den, outdoors with Den. I mean, wherever I go, I bring instant rice, very easily side dish. Yes, I do that a lot as well, rice or noodles. You can put so much stuff with it.
Thank you. I like
Welcome.
baton, but hickory is one tough wood.
Yeah, it is very tough.
This last weekend, I was using oak, some sort of oak. That stuff worked really good, man. It almost like cleaned my glass on my, because I had black stuff all over my glass. There was less on it when I got done burning the oak, and the coals would last so long.
Welcome back, Matt.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing all having a great night. They're doing good.
Guess we can move into the fire starting. I mean, I always bring a Bic lighter. That's a staple in my fire kit for sure. Then what you can use waterproof matches, your ferro rod. Um, a lot of people like using flint and steel.
Yeah, I like the ferro rod just for fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've been if people remember, Minnesota Mike did a challenge with the wood matches a while back, a one match challenge thing or whatever. Anyway, so if I ain't using a striker, I've been using matches since then. There's something feels kind of good about it, striking a match versus hitting the lighter button thing.
especially buying a box, and the store only had a box of 500 at the time, so I've got a lot of matches.
Yep. Water filter, purification tablets. I don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, I have a Sawyer Mini, a squeeze that works really good. Sometimes I use purification tablets. I don't have any at the moment. I need to get some of those. I like keeping, well, obviously you can boil water. That's one, water filtration. Uh, but I like to use boiling water and at least one other form of purification. That'd be handy to have both.
Yep.
Let's see here. What else?
Navigation and safety gear.
Yeah, the navigation is important, and I know a lot of people. I'm guilty. I mean, I always have a compass. I always, I'm pretty good with the means of the sun and the sky. But if it's a cloudy day, there's a lot of people get turned around, and that part of the navigation is signal mirroring, whistle, any means of. I mean, if you get lost, it sucks. I mean, luckily I've never gotten lost, but it can happen.
Yep. Minnesota Mike says, I like boiling water and adding coffee grounds. Me too.
That's the best idea I've heard all night. We'll have to highlight that one.
210, can you show Minnesota Mike your coffee cup?
Yeah, you probably seen I took a drink out of it earlier. Ain't that fancy?
He's got one of the ones, newer ones. Mine has the old one on it. Herbert says, I bought some small box matches at the dollar store because I needed 3 or 4 matches for a project. Now I have 500 plus left over. Yep, that's how it works.
Yep, it's good. You'll use them.
Yeah, but you really, if you're gonna take them camping, you need to have some sort of either waterproof them with wax or put them in some sort of waterproof container.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I said the map and compass. I mean, map is good, and then GPS. I mean, if you want to spend the money on external GPS, one thing I do like about my Google Pixel phone that I have, it's got emergency satellite messaging. If you don't have service, that I can message for rescue or whatever, which is nice. So I don't need to really buy a standalone SOS satellite device.
Yep.
Yeah, Herbert, pill bottles is a great form of waterproofing your matches. I've done that a couple times. I put a lot of stuff. I camp spices. I put my sugar cubes for my coffee and tea in there, and those work great.
if all else fails, you can get some pretty decent Ziplocs
Yeah,
while
the
you were
strike.
fishing, right?
Yep. Yeah, the strike anywhere matches. Those are real hard to find nowadays. It seems, but they're coming back.
Yeah. So the next thing it says headlamp, flashlight with extra batteries, and I would say to me that's one of the most important things when I go camping is my headlamp. Man, if you
Yeah.
don't have that thing and night falls, that I don't know how we ever survive without them. And mine happens to be a rechargeable, so it works out pretty good. It takes forever to charge, but once it's charged, it lasts a long time. But if I have to recharge it, I've got two battery packs I keep with me, and I can recharge it as I sleep through the night.
Do you personally have a headlamp that you can recharge, or is it replaceable batteries? You recharge yours, right?
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
rechargeable.
Okay. Yeah, I always usually get the ones that I can replace AAA batteries in. I've had a lot of bad luck with like rechargeable ones not lasting a long time. I don't know. That's just me, I guess.
Hmm. You're old
Camp,
fashioned.
campfire and dirty tires. So I got turned around before, and I was going in circles. Yeah,
That happened to me before.
yeah,
Oh yeah, Woodson got him a headlamp today.
yeah. That looked nice.
Too bad everybody can't see it.
He'll have to make a video. Use it on his next video.
A whistle and signal mirror. I don't have either one of those. Do
Yeah,
y'all have those things?
yeah. My signal mirror is on my compass, but I mean it's not. I always say a signal mirror. If you don't have a signal mirror, get like a bright orange shemagh or something bright that you can, tie to so high visibility so people can see if you fall and break your leg or break your ankle or something. Heaven forbid, you'll have a whistle or something.
Yeah,
And of course, you can't
deck
forget.
cards.
Yeah, yeah. First aid, of course, is the next one. You can't really. I mean, that's pretty important. I always have a pain reliever. Obviously, people have band-aids and gauze and all that, and that's important too. But a lot of people forget. If you have eat something or drink something bad, if you get upset stomach or it's a mess out in the woods, especially if you hike in and you don't have some kind of anti-diarrhea or Pepto-Bismol tablets or something. I mean, that's no good.
Oh, crappy situation.
Literally, you should have seen me if you would have seen me getting out of my hammock uh, Saturday night. I had the oh man, I think it was that chili and that potato soup that the Amish made because I barely made it to the bathroom. I am so surprised I didn't break my zipper on my sleeping bag. You would have laughed so hard. I
Uh,
almost fell on the ground getting out of my hammock.
I never heard anything.
I was. I bet you, if you guys were awake, you would have thought it was a bear running through the crunchy snow because I was running as fast as I could.
Did you go to the porta potty?
Yeah, I almost didn't. I almost just went right behind the hammock.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I can't remember the last time I had that issue the whole time I've been camping. So, yeah, if I ever go and eat something I've never ate before, I'm definitely going to bring some Pepto or something with me.
Man, I wish I could have caught that on video.
Thanks for coming in, Campfires and Dirty Tires. Have a good night, man.
See you, man. Campfires. Appreciate you coming in. Give a thumbs up, please, if you haven't. Appreciate it.
Herbert said a deck of cards too. We missed that. Yeah,
Yep.
that's good. Yeah, especially if you're with somebody else. I mean, you can still play solitaire by yourself. I've done it before, but I even got my harmonica with me for an entertainment. I've been trying to learn harmonica for years, but not very good at it. Hey, two guys in the Ozarks. Glad that you could make it in, Matt.
Hey, there he is. What's going on? We're discussing different things we need for different outings, and I think what's next? Personal locator, or what are we
Whistle,
on?
whistle signature mirror, bear spray. That's kind of all I think in first aid with emergency type stuff. Um, if you're in bear country, but even if you're not in bear country, like we stated before, if you don't have a means of protection, that's good for all animals and all people. So
Yeah.
I've got a whistle and a signal mirror. So
Oh my goodness.
toilet paper is a top priority. Yes, I usually bring hygiene wipes, so that's a dual purpose. You can wash your hands, your face, and use it as toilet paper as well. They're biodegradable.
Yep. I take toilet paper and usually wipes, which I remembered my wipes this time, and definitely put them to use.
That personal locator and beacon, that kind of touched on that with my phone, but a lot of people get the InReach, Garmin InReach satellite messaging, uh, satellite messengers. But I don't say that's a top priority, but I at least tell somebody number one where I'm going. I'll
Yep.
pin where I left my vehicle, or if I have service or whatever, I'll pin the exact campsite where I'm at when I hike out. My wife, she at least likes to know where my vehicle's at. So last place you've seen, I always tell at least one person.
Yeah. Let's see.
Herbert says, follow an armadillo; they'll always lead you to a road. Yeah, that's true.
The Ozark says a shovel.
Yeah, yeah, it depends on if you're hiking or not. But even that, I've got a little bitty stainless steel folding shovel in one of my side pouches in my hiking bag. So I do have a little shovel with me. You can dig out your fire pit, your privy, or whatever you need to do.
So, what kind of backpack do y'all have? What kind of backpack do you have, 210?
I've just got an outdoors research one or outdoor products one. It's not a super expensive one. I think it's a 47 liter. It's an Aero 8.0. I think it's 47 liters. It's not near big enough for my winter loadout. I'm actually looking at buying one now that it's in the season, but I've got a guy that's got a 65 liter. I'm going to get for $50. I don't ever spend
Oh.
a tremendous amount.
Mine is a Coleman. The main one. I mean, I got one for like day hiking and stuff, but my main one, my frame pack, it's just a Coleman. It's pretty small, I feel like. I get a lot of stuff in it, but the reason I have it is it was given to me. It was brand new and it was given to me for free, so can't beat that price.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually have too many bags too because I eat too much.
Outdoors with Dennis is I keep a collapsible fishing rod in my redhead backpack. Yeah, that my day pack is a redhead backpack.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I don't have a collapsible rod, but last night I was showing I got one of those little bitty ones, about that big. Yeah. fished with I think it was last summer. Caught a couple perch, did a catch and eat. I would not do good with survival. I'll tell you that. I don't, but I feel like I don't really go out far enough to worry about a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm usually real close to my truck, or like on the 20-acre woods. I mean, 20 acres ain't that big, so I could probably scream to the top of my lungs and Johnny would hear me.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Herbert gloves is a good one. We mentioned that I think at the first bit of our live here. Gloves is definitely winter, summer, anytime. Gloves are important because you get a splinter, you get cut and get infection. That's not good.
Woodsman says, "Yeah, I have a few bags, mostly military issue rucksacks, large and medium."
Can't go wrong with those.
Okay, so let me ask this question because I know people would argue with me, I'm sure, but like trekking poles, I've never found them to be that. I used to carry one because it was cool in Boy Scouts, but I've never found them to be that useful. But most people I know like to use them for hiking. So, what do y'all think? I mean, maybe I need to start using them to help save my knees or something. I don't know.
If you're hiking, especially going downhill, it comes in handy if you keeps you from slipping and falling. And two, a lot of ultralight tents are trekking pole tents, so that's why a lot of hikers carry trekking poles. Not only
Uh,
reason, but a big reason is it's part of their sleep system.
that makes sense. Actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, the new oh, there's a new tent, bivy tent out that I want that requires trekking poles, and I've got a set of trekking poles, so I use them quite a bit with tarp setups and different stuff.
Services really messes up my camera angle when I'm hiking. Two guys depends on terrain.
Yeah, definitely depends on the terrain. If you're hiking, if you're car camping, but even then, car camping, you can use them for a million things in camp. I mean, you can use them for your if you're going to do a trekking pole tent or tarp setup, or I've used them for a million different things.
Yep.
Paracord and duct tape, man, you can those two go hand in hand. At notebook and pen, you can just really put those all three together, really, because paracord is good for repairs, securing gear, and hanging food. Your bear bag or whatever. Duct tape, you can fix those nice burn holes in your tent, and then your notebook and pen for I can write that.
Saying your last
Uh,
goodbyes.
yeah, saying my last goodbyes when that bear eats me in my bear burrito.
Yeah.
Well, if I don't come home, my wife already knows how I've gone. I don't know if I told you, I think, Randy, but I'm not sure if I told everybody else. But when I was on that last camp at the conservation land, I was in my hammock, and I've heard a lot of different wildlife, but about 2:30 in the morning, I got a text notification, and I always check it because if it's my wife, my father-in-law's not doing good right now, and I want to make sure I'm available. But I got my phone, and the light from my phone came on, and I didn't know what it was at the time. I hadn't heard that sound before, but it screamed as loud because I guess the light on my phone scared it. And I came home and I started looking at wildlife sounds online to figure out what it was. And it was a bobcat, the sound, but I have never heard. I've heard bobcat sounds all my life. I have never heard one make that sound, and I was not for sure what it was. It did kind of startle me at first.
Yeah, I think I'd have been packing up.
It was literally the tree behind me. It was that close. I mean, it was so loud, and I made sure I wasn't on a game trail. So, but I think I just startled it because, yeah, I was like, boy, I don't think it. I knew it wasn't a mountain lion. It wasn't deep enough, but it wasn't a fox. So I went through all the sounds, wildlife sounds for here, and it was definitely a bobcat.
Mm-mm. Nope, not me.
Yeah, they're not they're not
I'm gonna go
aggressive.
get.
Okay. What about you guys? Is there anything we leaving out that's part of the essentials gear? I think we pretty much touched on it. You know, your tents, your tarps, your clothing, food and supplies, fire starting, just miscellaneous. There's a million things that you can take. None of it's, there's a lot that's not um, essential, what I'd say, but
I'm back.
so there's a video. The Herbert said there's a video. There's somewhere that has two bobcats screaming at each other on a road. I'd like to see that. I'll have to look that up. But I mean, like I said, I've hunted in deer stands and I've had bobcats going to me. I've heard bobcats before. Like I said, I don't know what it was saying, but it was not happy. Yeah, Matt, I'd agree. Sometimes you can bring way too much. But like I said, when I go car camping, I love it because you can literally take whatever you want. I mean, as
Yeah,
long as, as, long as you're within 100 yards of your vehicle, I mean,
yep. Pre-chopped wood, everything.
yeah, yep. Okay, I guess we can move on to the next section. Section 2 is best foods for solo camping. What do you
I was
think?
gonna show. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What was you gonna?
I was gonna show these that I got at this bushcraft show for this segment. These people have went out of business, but I hear their meals are like super good. This is one of them I bought. What is it? Cuban rice and beans.
Yeah,
They had
that
a
one looks
bunch
good.
of selection. And then this was the second one I chose. Stuffed bell peppers. So I can't wait to taste them. I haven't tasted them yet, but I hear they're really good. I think 210 got some too.
Yeah, I got 4 of them. I could go get them, but yeah, I got 2 breakfast ones. I got a meat lovers and a biscuits and gravy, and then I got chili mac and jambalaya.
Whoa, the jambalaya one always sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll have to take them on one of my next backpacking outings.
I'll trade you one for.
The Cuban rice and beans. That one sounds good too.
Yeah, they all sounded good. The only
If
thing
it
I
do,
don't like about those kind of foods, man, is I mean, you almost could go eat at Red Lobster. Not quite that expensive, but
it's just the convenience for me and lightweight for when I'm backpacking in, so I'm not carrying a bunch of cooking equipment. So it's weight issue for me. Yeah, I'd much rather make a burger or steak or something, but yeah, it's convenience. That's why I like making them too. It's funny. Herbert says, if you knew what that bobcat was saying, you might need a pen and paper.
yep.
Herbert said bacon's important to take. Yeah, that's probably top on the list.
Two guys said that he had the biscuits and gravy and red beans and rice, and he said they're good. I suppose you already ate them. They have some left on their website. If anybody's interested, he said they got some left on their website. It's called My Honey's Kitchen.
A little
Anybody's
close. There you go. Oh, yep, my honey's kitchen. Yep. they're local. They're not going to make them anymore. So what they have left is what they have. They said
But it's not these people that's selling them, though, is it?
no. They bought it from that company. That company has a restaurant, and they're going to focus this on their restaurant instead of the dehydrated meals, which is a shame because they are
Okay.
really good. Awesome. Best foods for solo camping. Yep. So you got that. Those meals obviously are a good idea. Aim for lightweight if you're backpacking, but obviously, eat anything easy. But if you're truck camping or car camping or whatever, hot tent camping, you've got the gear to cook whatever you virtually want.
Yep. Hey, everybody, if you hadn't given a thumbs up, please like. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
So this is talking about oatmeal with nuts and dried fruit, protein bars, powdered eggs, coffee or tea for breakfast ideas.
Yep.
I, if I had to choose one on that list, I'm not a big morning person. I mean, if somebody's gonna cook like pancakes and sausage and bacon and eggs, I'll eat it. But for myself, I would probably just have some oatmeal with honey in it.
Yeah, I usually bring oatmeal and dried fruit. I like really well in it. Okay. Yeah, Randy tried some of those meatballs this past weekend at the camp out, and yeah, I've had them too. They're not bad.
Oh man, I'm way behind on chat. Sorry
Yeah,
about that, Dan.
yeah, I realized I was a little behind, but trying to hit the. It's hard to get every one of them. I try to hit the main important ones here. Flour, don't forget flour. Yeah. Dum, dum, dum.
Herbert says I struggle to find a dehydrated meal that works. I'm allergic to onions, and most everything has onions.
Yeah, that's what's good about making your own. I've got a vacuum sealer and a dehydrator. Of course, I usually can only make small batches because the shelf life isn't near as long as the freeze dried. But I can't afford $3,000 for a freeze dryer.
Yeah, me either. I was looking at
Bis- Biscuit mix and coffee. Yeah, that's definitely coffee's top of the list for most coffee drinkers
yep.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Coffee or tea. Tortillas are good. Yeah, tortillas and granola bars. I always bring some kind of granola bars or snacks. It's pretty much it for breakfast. Pancake mix is easy and to bring.
Yeah.
I usually get like a little container and pre-mix my pancake mix and water together so it's ready to go when I get to camp. I don't even have to add water to it.
Okay, now it's lunch.
Yeah, Herbert just said jerky. That goes good for lunch, dinner. Spam, Den said. Yeah, spam. I love spam, but a lot of people don't like it. But
Oh, I don't.
spam's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner because I do like spam and eggs is really good. And
I don't
yeah,
know. I'm hanging out with you old people. Sometimes I'm just
I'll put
kidding.
sausage or bacon in for you.
Okay.
Hey,
I think I can handle spam, but like spam, it's a mental thing. And
yeah,
so is like corned beef or whatever, corned beef hash or whatever that stuff is.
yeah,
That's the mental block I got.
yeah. Well, it's kind of like if you're eating hot dogs or whatever. I mean, it's kind of the same concept, just a different form.
Yeah, I can eat bologna and hot dogs.
Oh, I love me some bologna.
Mm-hmm.
Fried bologna. My mom used to do fried bologna and tomato
Yep.
sandwiches.
My daughter used to love fried bologna. Mixed
Herbert,
nuts, trail mix. Go ahead.
Herbert said, I'd rather eat tree bark than spam. That's funny.
Herbert, let's go camping. I
Yeah,
think me and you would get along good.
you can eat that tree bark if you want. You can eat a hot dog, but you can't eat spam. It's all made out of you know
Ah,
what.
they don't taste the same though.
Oh yeah, you got to cook spam. You ain't gonna eat spam raw, but if you cook
Mm,
spam, fry it real good and crispy, it's good.
Uh,
Get the jalapeno spam. Oh, buddy.
no, oh man, maybe I don't know. Seems like ain't spam salty. It's been so long since I've had it. I just remember last time I had it, I was about to gag.
They got low sodium ones, but yes, it is.
And I don't like ham. Y'all learned that on the last camp out. I'm not a ham guy.
Well, I do. Yeah, which it's easy to say what I don't like. All right, so you said trail mix for snacks, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not crazy about like that stuff I brought, the
Oh
bean
yeah.
burrito, but
Oh, that's
I
yeah,
like the nuts. You like the cranberries. If I could have
yeah,
it without the cranberries, I'd like it a lot gooder.
yeah.
But
Well, just save the cranberries. I'll eat them.
I'll pick them out
Yeah.
most of the time. But there's some stuff at Walmart. It's like a Mexican trail mix or something. Man, that stuff is so good. Woo, it's good. That's my favorite.
All right. What's on the next list? Peanut butter crackers or tortillas? Yep, I love putting peanut butter and wrap it up in tortilla. That's a pretty good snack.
There's cheese and summer sausage.
Yep, that's always good. Deer or beef or whatever summer sausage you like. Then Herbert said jerky earlier.
Yep. Dehydrated hummus. What is that?
Hummus. Hummus is soy product. It's actually what do you call it? Oh, can't remember what beans that's made out of. The I can't remember the name of the bean, but hummus is really good. I dip my veggies like carrots and broccoli and cauliflower in it. Um,
Hmm.
it's pretty good. Not everybody likes it. It's a vegan type thing, vegan or vegetarian. My wife and I was vegan for a while, for several years, and we'd make our own hummus. It was pretty good. Dun, 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 dun. Why can I not think of the beans that's made out of? I don't know why I can't think of that.
Hummus is for chickpeas.
Chickpeas. That's it. Thanks, Mike. It was on top of tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Quiet
Chickpeas.
cake.
Yep, I love
And
it.
then we said energy bars and jerky.
Yep. Yeah, I always have some kind of a granola bar, energy bar, or jerky or something to snack on. Usually, I like those. Um, what do you call it? The chomps sticks are made out of. They don't have any fillers, or they're all natural.
Yeah.
I guess that leads us to dinner ideas, huh?
Yeah. They got instant rice. It's another one of those things that Minnesota Mike showed me. I didn't even know there was such thing. It comes in a package. I still got them when I got these others
Yep.
to show you.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get them at Dollar General,
Yep.
at Walmart, and it's already all, I
Yep.
think, halfway cooked or something. And
Yeah,
you
it's
can
fully
blow
cooked.
it in the
You
bag.
literally just. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yep. Yep.
But I don't
They're
blow it in the
already.
bag.
Oh, you don't?
No. Remember, because of the plastic stuff. So I
Oh, yeah.
put me some water in the pot and I dumped the rice into the water and finished cooking it.
Yeah, it works too. Plus, it's more moist when you're done cooking.
Yeah.
Herbert said Pop Tarts too. Yep, Pop Tarts are always a good snack,
Yeah.
and you can eat that breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
As long as they ain't spam Pop Tarts.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. Suge there on YouTube. He's a hammocker. He likes the peanut butter flavored Pop Tarts. I've yet to
Mm,
find them, but
well, that
I love,
sounds good.
yeah, I love peanut butter. So
I
um,
do too.
I might have to message him to see if I can pay him to send me some down here. Yeah, the instant rice and pasta I use a lot. I use the North Sides a lot, rice or pasta. You can make so many variations. You can use tuna, canned chicken, shredded beef, shredded pork, whatever your fancy is. You can even rehydrate your jerky in the with the rice. It's pretty good that way too.
We talked about the freeze dried already.
Yeah, and that goes with ramen. Ramen kind of goes with that. It's not freeze dried, but I mean, it ramen's like the rice and noodles. You can literally put anything in it, and if you
Yeah,
don't like the flavoring packs, you can do your own flavor or whatever. You don't have to use those salty flavor packs.
kind of like a brother and sister to the dehydrated.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And it's lightweight. That's another good reason if you're backpacking in. I mean, I usually do, like I told you before, I usually do my more elaborate cooking when I'm truck camping or, campsite camping. I usually use my easier meals for when I'm backpacking in.
Mm.
Super, super stew made from prepackaged ingredients. Yeah, that's good too.
Ben says I've used canned chicken. Somebody's leaving. Oh, good
Yeah.
evening. Girlfriend fishing.
Yeah,
Okay.
girlfriend fishing. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you.
Ben says I've done canned chicken, instant white rice, and onions a few times. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good idea for lunch or dinner.
Herbert says we're going camping for sure, Randy. The menu would be simple. Oh yeah, it would, and it'd be good.
Steak and potatoes. I'd be happy.
Anything but not spam.
That's good. Hey guys, if you haven't checked out Girl Fin Fishing, subscribe to her channel. She's got really good content. And, her dog Winter's so cute. We got a little corgi. She's got a corgi as well. Our corgi's name's Izzy, and she has some really good fishing videos. She just built out her SUV to camp in, so she's got a good channel. So I'd see if you guys would go subscribe to her channel.
Super stew made from pre-packaged ingredients.
Yeah, you can do stew pretty easily. That's pretty much it. I mean, what else does everybody like to do for dinners? And like I said, it really depends on if you're truck camping, overlanding, backpacking. I mean, that's you're gonna have to decide what you're willing to pack in, or you know, I like doing steak and potatoes when I'm car camping.
Two guys says gotta get back to work. Not everyone. See you later, Matt.
Thanks for coming in, Matt. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night.
Hope work goes okay. He works night shift.
Yeah, I was hoping maybe Peter would come in again tonight. Good night, Den.
See you, Dan. Thanks for coming in, man. We need to have a big get together somewhere right in the middle of where we all are.
Yeah, we definitely need to get together. Um, like I said, I'm going to reach out to Shane, the Midwest camping, and try to get a. I know everybody's not into hammocks, but there's a lot of people that are around here, and I'd like to get something going on with that too.
Well, I mean,
Den's,
I would buy a hammock just to be, just to do it if they wouldn't let me use a camp.
well, I've got plenty of hammocks. I don't think you'd have to buy one. You're 10 hours away, Den said. Wow, that'd be rough. We'd have to get in
That's not,
between.
yeah, that's not too bad.
No, no, we could cut off some, get a little bit closer somewhere.
Hmm.
I guess we can keep on keeping on. Let's see what's the next group here. Hydration and water sources.
Yeah,
I guess you need 2 to 3 liters per day per person. I mean, I think that's a bit much. I mean, two's definitely usually plenty. If it's summer, you might need three, depending on how far you're hiking too, how hot it's going to be.
yeah. I'm not a fan of summer, I can tell you that. Or purification tablets. We talked about that. Water filter
Yeah,
or powered sport drinks.
yeah, that's a good thing I like bringing when I'm hiking. I'll take Gatorade packets or even the Equate Walmart flavor packets, just about anything because you can get electrolytes in just about any one of them now, and they're real lightweight. Because if you go on the whole trip with just water, I mean, I can do water and coffee, but you definitely need the electrolytes if you're hiking.
You know something they could do at that, this is kind of off subject, but I don't know, it just came to my mind. Like at that bushcraft thing, since they're doing those classes, they could have somebody come that's actually certified to teach first aid and CPR.
Yeah, I was really surprised they didn't have that myself.
Yeah, people could actually get certified.
Yeah, but it was all basic stuff, so I'm
Yeah.
sure in upcoming ones they'll probably change it up. I'm sure.
All right.
I'd like to see a little more hands-on too.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was
it's
meaning.
hard. It's hard for that big of a group, I know, to get hands-on, but you could split off into, smaller groups and still do it. You had plenty of time, hour or more per class, so
Yeah.
that's quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, then magnifying glass for fire. That's a good one too.
Usually CPR training is expensive because of the equipment it takes. Yeah, I've taken it several times. I went through I was a not paramedic, whatever you call those. Can't even think now. EMT. I went through all that, and I've been through the CPR several times. I don't know. I mean, the equipment I can see would be expensive to buy to demonstrate on. Other than that, I don't know what would be expensive about it, other than the person's time
Yeah.
if they're an actual trainer. Adventures with Ken. Evening, y'all. Driving home from a baseball game, so I can't chat.
Be safe, Ken. I'm glad you came in anyways. I appreciate the love. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And
You can
anybody
listen
else?
to
Anybody
it.
else? Yeah.
All right, you want to move on?
Absolutely, we can. Then we can just we'll talk about what we want to after we're done, I guess. So was that what 2 3 liters of water a day? And you said the purification. Yeah, I guess we're done with that section. What's the next section we got?
We've already talked about it, most of it. Safety
Yes.
and navigation.
Yeah. Tell someone your plans. Obviously, share your route and your ex. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk to expected return time.
Expected.
I can't even talk. Oh man, it's been a long day. Check the weather. That's another thing. I've had a few people I've subscribed to, and they're honest. They didn't cut it out of their video. They've had to leave early because of the changing weather all of a sudden. Well, just like I watched a video of Nick's, and he had to uh, leave out early on a trip too because of the weather just turned. Just because you read the weather forecast doesn't mean it's going to be the same either. So
Herbert says being able to tell time at sunset.
Yes. Be able to tell time at sunset. Yep. Yep. There's so much that you can bring. There's so much that can be on the fence whether it's a necessity or essential, but most of the stuff we've been talking about, I think, pretty essential. Basic first aid, like you was just talking about. I mean, even a little bitty old cut, people just blow it off. But I mean, if you get an infection, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's why I've never, even though I know it's important, I've never put a lot of importance on it because my mind thinks, well, if it's something major, a little first aid kit ain't gonna help, and little minor things I don't really care about. I should, but that's just kind of how my mind thinks about it. I need to get one and keep it with me.
Yeah, I've got one in the top of my bag. It just stays in my bag, so it's good to rotate stuff out too.
Trust your instincts. If something feels off, move to a safer location.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I usually try to do as much homework as I can, especially if I'm going to a new location. I'll look at GPS maps and look at the terrain and see how rugged it is, and try to go as prepared as I can. And like you said, you felt weird at one of the campouts you're on and you left. I mean, there's nothing
Yep.
wrong with that. And just like Nick leaving because of the weather change. I mean, if you're not totally prepared and the weather changes and it's not in the forecast, there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yep. Each
Yeah.
finger is 15 minutes. How do you tell that? I mean, what do you
Hold
mean?
it hold it up to the horizon, and if the sun's at 4 fingers distance, you're looking at an hour's worth of time you've got
I,
before the sun sets.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
I
If
can't.
you
I can't see you. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, you can't. I forgot. But yeah, that's really good. Definitely good to add. There's so much, just just like first aid kits. Everybody's so different on what's important in first aid kit. This chat, I didn't think it was important. I figured people could add on the chat what they would like. I mean, obviously, you need antiseptic and band aids and gauze and the basic for what I call a boo boo kit.
You know, monkey blood.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily going to bring a tourniquet, and I mean, I can use my belt as a makeshift one if I need to, or paracord or something. But I'm not going to bring something for a gunshot wound, which maybe I should, but I'm not. I don't. Yeah, Herbert, super glue's great. That's a great addition to first aid kit. You can glue your cuts shut.
Camp setup and fire safety.
Use your right hand for Eastern time and your left hand for Central time. I'll give you a guess who said that one.
Woodsman.
Nope, Minnesota
Oh,
Mike.
oh, okay.
That's yeah, that's a good one. Just kidding. That's great. Wait a minute, it's the same. uh,
One thing that I've always known, but I've never really. Another thing I've not done that much. I'm getting gooder at it, but choosing a service. Well, it says choose a flat, dry campsite, which I try to do that part, but it says away from dead trees,
yeah,
and I don't always look above me, to see what it looks like and what could possibly fall on me. I'm getting better at it little by little, but I forget a lot.
yeah. It's hard to remember everything all the time, but I got a mental checklist. I've just had to because I would always forget certain things, and I don't know, I may be too organized sometimes, but I have to so I don't forget stuff. It's something I have to do.
Yeah.
But that is a real important one for sure. Setting up your tent before dark to avoid difficulties. Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with the widowmakers, because if it's dark, you can't really see everything. I mean, I guess if you got a good light, you can check, but you still can't see with a light like you can in the daylight.
Store your food away from your tent to prevent wildlife encounters. That one to me is big. If like
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm on the 20-acre woods, I usually hike my after cooking and all that stuff. I hike all my food stuff back to the truck and throw it in my truck and lock the
Yes.
truck because I don't want it in my camp for any reason. Wild dogs, coyotes, anything.
Yeah, I always hang my food bag or whatever I have after I camp. And if I'm doing dishes or whatever, I mean, literally, you're not even supposed to eat in your campsite. I'm guilty of that a lot of times. And especially when I wash my dishes, I try to go way farther away from my camp. But I need to be more adamant on that as well. The next one, man, I'm really, really would like to stress on the leave no trace. I mean, it's so sad. Every place I've been here lately
Yep.
is so dirty, and especially free lands, and people go out and party and just trash it up. I always bring trash bags with me so I can clean up after, and people I think know that. Oh well, somebody else is going to come by and clean it up.
Yep. When I went on that camp out with Byron, that was one of the I would that is one of the prettiest spots I've stayed at. And the morning he stayed in my hot tent by himself in the night and was trying to wash up that morning, so I decided to take a walk. Well, when I walked around, I looked at this one camp out had trash every. I mean, it looked like people had just taken a big old trash bag from home and stuck it in the fire and burned it.
Probably
And
did.
it was paper everywhere, metal cans. It was the trashiest campsite I think I've ever seen in my life, and it took a while. It took more than one trash bag to get it cleaned up. I can tell you that.
It's horrible. I felt guilty for mentioning it in my last video about that. It was like one of the things I mentioned about leave no trace or picking up your garbage. I mean, there's this. I hope none of our community does it. I felt bad about mentioning it because I'm like, surely people watching our videos, but there's people watching our videos that don't pick up after themselves. I know there is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
I like getting involved in cleanups. I've done that with some other fellow YouTubers in Arkansas, scheduling cleanups and getting a campground to sponsor it and clean up river banks and different areas. It's a lot of fun. We ought to try to organize something like that too. That would be a good time.
There's one here. I've already talked to Johnny about it, about wanting to try to get a big group together. It used to be a really cool spot for fishing and kayaking, and it's kind of away from town. And a bunch of, I mean, it literally looks like maybe 30 families moved out into this area, and they spray painted everything. There's tore up furniture everywhere, appliances just strung everywhere, trash everywhere. It's horrible,
Yeah,
and I'd really like to get it cleaned up because the first time I ever saw it, that place was so nice. It was such a neat place to be. It's a train bridge, and you can pick your kayaks up off of this little or off this little river area and take it up through this bridge that goes under the train tracks. And there's a lake over there with fish like crazy. And you could kind of hang out in that little area under the train. But anyway, they destroyed it, totally destroyed it. I mean, it's spooky walking around there now. And I've been thinking. I was talking about it to a guy about 2 weeks ago about doing a. I called it a stealth camp. I don't know if it how stealthy it is, but I thought about going out there and just doing a camp, a spooky
yeah.
camp.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I watch a guy on YouTube, Wes Wherever. He's in California, and he has a really nice beach area that he kayaks over to. And he did an episode on himself going out there and cleaning it up because you get the trash that comes in from the ocean, and it was just trashed out. Man, he made it look really nice. I thought that was pretty impressive. Being on a kayak, he brought a rake and some trash bags and hauled it all back and got rid of it. It was pretty awesome of him.
Yeah, that's cool. Herbert says, have done that with kayak clubs. That would
Yeah,
be fun.
yeah, that would be. You find so much junk when you're fishing too. I've got my John boat, and you got yours. I mean, that's you can put quite a bit of trash in those, and
Yep.
uh, it's good. Even when I go camping, like I said, I always bring extra bags so I can bag stuff up. Even if it's Walmart sacks, little plastic bags, you can put quite a bit in them. So what else we got here? Store food away from tents. Yeah, follow leaving a trace. Mental preparation and enjoyment. Yeah, that's why I've gone out. That's why I get out to what I went through this past year. It's really helped me get through mentally. It something about getting out in nature.
Yep. I love it.
Yeah, bring a book, journal, music. Yeah, that book. I love reading books in my hammock, watching. I catch up on a lot of YouTube videos when I'm out. People's like, this time of year when you got so many hours of dark, what do you do? Catch up on my YouTube videos of all my community and
Yeah.
my books.
Speaking of which, a video of yours came out not too long ago. Two of them, didn't it, today? Or is it just one?
Just one today.
Okay. Well, I watched about that much of it and have to get back to it. And I tried last night. I think it was yours. I've been trying to swap around and sleep with it going, but I don't know how many it plays before it stops. So,
Yeah. If you put it on continual, the problem is once it goes through that person's, it'll stop. You'll have to put some kind of playlist on, and
yeah.
it's a lot of work to do that.
Stay aware, but not paranoid. Nighttime sounds are usually just nature.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a fine line between paranoid. I mean, so many people are just haven't been out in nature, and even if they have, like my nephew, he admitted to me during deer season, he's like, when I had to walk, I told you I had to walk back to my truck to get something, and it was a mile one way.
Yeah.
So I ended up walking 3 miles that night because I forgot my food in the truck. And he's like, I don't think I could have done that. He goes, I was nervous here by the fire when you was gone.
Herbert says, I don't have a lot of places to practice bushcrafting, but the campground I go to, I make it a practice to go after the 4th of July is over to do cleanup. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
A lot of people leave trash on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Gets confusing trying to remember who put out what video when I find a bunch of new channels to check out like you guys. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. I'm like Randy. I'll randomly pick, I'm not going to say I don't have my favorites. They're the ones I've been subscribed to longer, but I try to give everybody love all the time. And like Randy said, even if there's people that subscribe to me and it's not necessarily stuff I'm into, I'll let it run in the background to give them some love, if I'm
Yeah,
cleaning the house or whatever. And but yeah, it's hard to give everybody your time and to leave a good comment for them to let them know that you watch part of their video. But um, even if I try to give somebody at least 3 minutes, because that's a good target for YouTube is 3 minutes or more, and because your watch time is important, how long your viewers are staying.
yeah,
But I mean, people think if you skip through your video that helps you too. Well, it's the amount of view time. at one shot that you get. So
You know,
I try to help everybody. If I'm going to put somebody's video on it, even if I'm not going to personally sit there and watch it, I'll at least let it play for, if not the whole video, for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Try
you know.
to.
A lot of times, what I'll do is if I'm doing anything in the house, it's just like you. I mean, there's some things I'm into. There's some things I'm not into. And if it's something I'm not really into, but I really like the person and their channel, I'll set it up like on my microwave right above my sink. And as I'm doing dishes, I'll just kind of watch it as I'm doing dishes. I mean, what else am I going to do? You know,
Yeah.
and
That's
give them time. And what I've realized too, there's sometimes I look at a video and think, oh, I'm just not really into that. But if I start watching, a lot of times I do get interested. And find stuff pretty interesting that I didn't think I would.
Yeah, Herbert just said I tend to give more focus on the ones that are in my niche. Yeah, I do too. That's kind of what we were saying. I mean, I have a tendency to for the camping and the fishing and the outdoors type stuff. I definitely give more time to. I know I do because that's what I'm interested in, you know. And I heard somebody the other night in our live saying that they don't like watching their own, or was that at the bushcraft meet? I don't remember, Randy. Somebody we was talking to here lately said that they don't like watching camping and all that because that's what they're into. I'm like, well, that's to me that's opposite. I watch
Yeah,
those things because I'm into that. So
right. Me too. And
I don't.
I get some ideas, a lot of ideas from watching other people's videos.
Mm-hmm,
And a lot of
yeah,
times, I'm not usually stealing their ideas, but it'll spark something in my memory, from when I was in Boy Scouts and think, oh, I could do this, and that's what this next weekend's project is about. I'll go ahead and tell y'all what it is. It's just I'm gonna cut a piece of a log so big around, I don't know, and so thick, and then I'm gonna build a tripod out of 2x4s, and I'm gonna paint a target on that log, and it'll hang on that tripod. And they do that for hatchet throwing. I used to have a Boy Scout master that was into the mountain man stuff, and he took his little tripod and stump everywhere he went. And he would, at every camp out, he was out there practicing his hatchet throwing. He would let other people come and practice. He was real safe about it. But I've been thinking about that lately, and I've seen some videos about it lately. And then when I went out to the bushcraft thing, it really made me start thinking, man, I think I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to do that now. I kept putting it off, but I think I'm ready to do it. So you just never know what's going to spark something in you, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so much to do and so many ideas you can get. Um, and you can put a twist on old things too. Some people say, well, a million people are doing that. Well, if you've got a slightly different idea, just like I modified my last video, I've modified my little twig stove to burn wood pellets,
Yeah,
and it works great. I mean, that's just something for you to do. I didn't really make a how-to video on it. It's not that big a deal. My little twig stove has that dish for the alcohol. I just drilled a bunch of holes in it and use a torch to start it. It works really good. I mean, I don't know why I never thought of that before. We use a pellet stove to heat our home here, so I thought, well, heck, I've got all these pellets. That's a great idea. Of
yeah.
course, I tried it at home first before I took it out and tried to cook on it or anything. But
Let's see. That's another thing at this bushcraft. Everybody was talking about try things first before you go out, and that's one thing I never do. I don't know why, but like my hot tent, that big round one,
yeah,
um, I never set it up until me and you showed up to camp that one day. It was the first time ever. To me, it's the fun of the surprise. I don't know why I'm like that, but kind of an adrenaline type of thing, I think. But
well, worst thing with that is with a tent, we're close to our vehicles. So, I mean, if there was a rip or something horribly where you couldn't use it, I mean, it's not like you hiked in 10 miles and
yeah,
don't have to go to sleep.
And I kind of, my mind keeps thinking I want the people watching to experience the same feeling I'm feeling
Yeah,
of it,
kind of
of
like
it
a
being the,
how-to video. Yeah.
of it being the first time and what's it going to look like. I love that tent, by the way, even though I got 5 million holes in it now.
Hey, gives it character.
Yeah. But I'm going to make a video on how to patch holes eventually.
There you go. And they're not super bad.
Yeah.
Not like it's ruined or anything. Even if it was, I mean, I'd put a big patch if it was a big hole. I mean,
Yeah.
I use my
Kind of look
stuff
cool.
forever. Yeah, definitely be a good video to put out, even if it's a short.
Yeah. So are we ready for final thoughts?
Yeah, I'd say we are. I mean, I guess it all boils down to, with proper planning and right gear and essential safety measures, you can gain confidence and truly enjoy the beauty of nature, on your own terms. I mean, um, it's really, like we said, it's dependent on location, season. Your loadout's going to change. Your food's going to change. Your cooking gear is going to change. Your sleep system, everything changes depending on the seasons, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our community has a tendency sometimes to think we know it all, but we don't. I mean, I know a lot of stuff we went over is basic knowledge, but I don't want to be a one to think that I'm a know it all. My dad, that's one thing he always said growing up, and even when I was older. You don't want to be a know it all. You don't want to always think you know everything. And even if you know most of it, you can always put a twist on something old and make it your own idea and
Yeah.
keep things new and um, just like using Corporal's Corner, for example, and making them skillets. And I hear people saying, well, I'd rather have a cold handled skillet over here. Absolutely, I would too. But YouTube has, really cut people, and he's got to make a living because he's used to making a certain amount. So, not just him. And like you pointed out during the campground, we don't want to make our channels a commercial. But then again, I see like Outdoors McGee and those guys selling those e-bikes, and they've
Yep.
got to make ends meet. And um, I understand. I think that's when I don't necessarily want two channels, but if I did get into those type of things, I'd make another channel for gear reviews and that stuff. I wouldn't keep it on my main channel. I would make another channel for that stuff, I think.
Let's see. Oh, Woodsman says, always learning every day. Herbert
Yep.
says, the twist I put on it is that I am definitely a beginner. If I can do it, anyone can, except of a bow drill.
Yeah. And my twist on bushcraft, I mean, it's good to hone your skills and practice and keep up knowing you can do those things, but we live in the 21st century. I mean, realistically, do any of us need to start every fire with flint and steel or with a ferro rod or a bow drill? Absolutely not. A Bic
Yep.
lighter. You're going to be in a campground. I'm going to use a torch.
Yeah.
But I mean, do, am I confident enough I know how to do it and can do it? Yes, I can build a bow drill. I can, but I need to do that more to hone my skills.
You know what I think's funny is you'll get comments from somebody if you use the lighter. I used to get comments all the time. I used to always use the lighter, and it would be like, "That's not authentic." Using a lighter, you need to. But you go. I mean, nothing else I was doing was authentic either.
Yeah. Well, they
Including the
think
tent I was staying in and the vehicle I was camped right next to, and then you go watch their channel, and most of the stuff they were doing wasn't authentic either.
no. Well, like your channel, my channel, and most of the channels where we're not claiming to be professionals, and none of us are claiming to be bushcraft. Just because you're an outdoor channel, they expect you to be doing everything like
Yeah.
they did back then. And it's, if that's what you're watching YouTube for, you need to look at the actual bushcraft channels, and there's plenty of those out there.
Right.
I've never once said on my channel that this is a bushcraft. I only do bushcraft. I do what I do, and I started doing it to document my trips. And, if people watch and subscribe, that's great. If not, I mean, everybody's channel's not for everybody. I There's so many different variations of outdoors on our community alone. I really enjoy our group of guys that we've become close to. Everybody does things so differently.
Yeah. That's true. You haven't met Minnesota Mike yet, have you?
No, I've not met him. I'm looking forward to someday meeting him. He's got a lot of good ideas. I
Yeah.
kind of I enjoy watching his channels because I'm not as handy probably as him, but I do like making things too. So I really enjoy his videos.
Yeah. I was telling you at that bushcraft. I think y'all are gonna like each other because y'all are real similar when it comes to your mind. Always, always thinking
Yeah,
about
I'm
stuff to do, and
making things out of nothing.
yep, that's what I was telling him. I was telling 210 with Minnesota Mike. He's one of those people that he'll eat a can of tuna and then he'll just sit there looking at the can,
Yep, alcohol. Yep.
trying to figure out what can I do with this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, claim to do anything unless I come up with something on my own that's really cool. It blows me away. I might share it on a video, but if I put something in a video, it's just trying something. Just like I've seen those paint can emergency stoves and heaters
Yeah,
for years and years, and I always wanted to do one. I didn't do it for a how-to video because a lot of times you don't want to watch my videos for how-to.
it did good.
Yeah, it was fun,
I
and
didn't think you were going to get it in there, honestly, at first.
yeah, yeah. It took me a lot longer. It would have been 3 times as long a video if I would have showed the whole thing. But yeah, it'd be easier to use like a regular size or a double size. I had a mega roll, so I got it all in there, but it took some work.
Yeah. Minnesota, let's see. Herbert says Cowboys were the original survivors.
Absolutely.
Minnesota Mike says, I don't bow drill. Too much work. I should try
Yeah.
harder.
But realistically, I mean, when are you going to be in an actual situation where your only choice is a bow drill? I mean, possible, but I've never been in that. It almost have to be an apocalyptic type situation. But if you have a bug out bag of any kind, I keep lighters in my truck. If something happens, more than likely I'll be able to get to a lighter. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're going hypothermic, you're going to need a lighter to get a fire going quick, not trying to build a bow drill.
Yep. Yep.
I
To me,
mean,
bow drill wasn't that hard when I lived in West Texas. It actually was pretty easy. We did it in scouts a lot, but it's
mm-hmm,
because they had yucca everywhere out there, and you
yep.
could grab them yucca sticks that were dead and split them in two, and it wasn't that hard. The hardest part to me was getting the string or the leather for the bow
Mm-hmm,
and getting it to work right and being the right length of where you can twist it and you know have it
yeah.
be tight and stuff. That was the hardest part, but it was fun. But definitely, like you said, it's not. It would definitely wouldn't be the first thing I'd think of trying to survive when I can just grab a lighter out of my pocket.
I mean, more of a realistic scenario that you'd ever need that would be a typical castaway movie situation where you're marooned on an island and you're not going to have a lighter. If you're thrown in a situation that you don't have your bug out bag or whatever, that situation is realistic. Or if you are on a ship and it sinks, something, catastrophic happens. But yeah. And to the bow drill, going back to what you said about Texas, it's all about, for me, it's about prep. It's about getting your hearth board and your spindle made correctly, your bow, get a green stick. You can use your bootlaces for your string. Uh, I'm not going to go to the means unless I absolutely had to make cordage. You could do that, but it all, like you say, goes depends on where you're at. You know, let's see, after I read a book about a family that went through an EMP situation, I tried to keep my skills sharp in case there is no means of power for an extended period. Yeah,
Does anybody keep emergency foods in your house? Like
I
the
do.
kind that lasts for 25 years?
That's mostly the main reason I keep a bunch of backpacking meals because they're good for about that long a time. And main reason I keep a lot of those. I do keep a lot of canned goods and sides that are pasta and beans. I have a bunch of beans and not a prepper pantry by no means, but I've got enough probably if we stretched it realistically for a month or two probably.
Yeah. I've got probably about, I'd say 3 or 4 months worth, maybe,
Yeah,
if they were used proper.
yeah. Good night, Minnesota, Mike. Have a good night. I'm glad you came in.
Good night, Mike. Glad you came in too, man. Appreciate it very much.
Can't wait till we get a time that we can all get together sometime.
Yeah, fun. Well, I think I might check out too, man.
All right, appreciate it. It's been good.
It's been fun. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with me.
Yeah, I don't know who all's in here, but I appreciate everybody coming in and trying to read comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure
How many's in chat right now?
5.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been around 5 or 6. I've not seen more than 9 or 10 at a time.
Yeah, I hardly ever do either.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
well, I don't know if I'm going to stay on much longer or not. It just depends on if anybody wants to chat. I can stay in for a while.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go eat something else and then get ready for bed. Probably. I am so tired. I don't know if y'all can tell it in my eyes, but man, I'm sleepy. And I still got a few things I got to do before bedtime. So
Awesome. I
yeah,
appreciate you coming in and hanging out with me. We'll have to do it on yours next.
yeah, sounds fun to me, man. See
All
y'all
right.
later. If I can find out how to get out of here. Let's
Bye,
see here.
Randy.
Later. Oh,
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, guys. I appreciate you guys all coming in. I don't know if you guys have anything to add or want to talk about, any questions, or I usually, if I'm going to do a live, I think I'm going to plan on doing 7 to 10. But if we don't have anything else to talk about, 2 hours, it's pretty good live, I think. We got through our discussion we wanted to do, so that was the main reason for the live tonight, and to try out StreamYard and see how well it would do. And I know you can do up to 6 people on StreamYard for free, so that's pretty cool. We'll have to do multiple live coming up sometime. I don't know of any of you guys that are still in here that would be interested in doing that. I don't know if Woodsman, you'd be interested in doing one. Maybe we can get together and kind of set up a structured, not all, they don't all have to be structured, but I think it's kind of cool that you're not just a bunch of, you know, silence. Plus, having somebody in here with you, you don't have to think of so much to talk about. So you're up for a live too, Woodsman? For me, I've never done a live myself because if you're doing some kind of presentation or whatever hot tinting like Lower Michigan does, I guess that gives you something to do to keep people entertained. But just coming on here by yourself and literally not be able to talk to somebody else, it's really hard. I would definitely have to have some kind of structure to talk about, like we did tonight, just to keep things flowing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can talk like the rest of them, but at least having another person in with you, you can dialogue and continue the conversation. Yeah, not tonight, Matt. I understand. But I think it's a good time to close it out here. I appreciate everybody coming in. Hope everybody has a great week. I don't know if I'll be in alive. I might start trying to do Monday nights for mine. I don't know, Mondays or the end of the week, something. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. But thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, have a good night, and I'll see you next time, guys. Good night.